Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome, everyone who made the time to join us today. Today, we are going to be discussing a lot of things that I believe will help us as individuals and as a community as well. So, on here, we have so many IIGL students. I believe everyone here right now is an IIGL student, and if you are not, you are going to learn more about IIGL today. And today we actually have a very interesting topic. It's our honor to also have the director of this great organization in our midst. We are so excited to have her. So today we are going to be discussing something that a lot of people will actually resonate with. So today we have Udeme, and we're going to be focusing on her journey, and hopefully you learn something good. So if you're watching after this recording or this Zoom meeting, I believe you're not going to miss anything at all. And make sure you watch till the end, because the important thing is that you go home today a different person, or you learn just one thing that can help you to help someone else around you.
Okay, my name is Udeme Idem, and I'm super excited to join this meeting today to share my journey. I think over the last few years, my journey has been an inspiration to many when they see my persistence, my determination, my focus in faces of rejections and other things that I've gone to, challenges that I have to scale through and succeed. So I'm currently a PhD student at the Purdue University, studying for my PhD in engineering education. And I'm also doing a master's in electrical engineering still at Purdue University. And prior to my journey in Purdue University, I worked with Dangote Cement PLC as electrical reliability engineer. And I didn't start as an electrical engineer, I started as a junior technician. So I grew through the ranks to I left the company as a reliability engineer in 2024 to join Purdue University.
Wow, thank you. You said you faced a lot of challenges in Nigeria. What was it like?
Growing up in Nigeria, you used to see all these NEPA people come to disconnect light at home, and I really wanted to do that. When I was younger, I didn't actually know what electrical engineering means. And there was one time when I was, I think, around 4 or 5, I used to play with a switch at home. And there's in particular software was supposed to have like a switch cover, but it didn't. There were wires out where I used to use the wires to play. So one day the wire just threw me off, and I really wanted to know what happened. So, but I think my greatest inspiration in wanting to be electrical engineer specifically was because of the NEPA people that I used to see come to disconnect lights. So I was really intrigued by what they were doing, and I actually wanted to do that. So when I was in my secondary school, my mom wanted to switch me to a technical college, and I looked through their program and I found out that, oh, I really love electrical installation and maintenance practice, and I really had passion for that. So I told my mom that is what I want to go to the technical college to do, because it was like a vocational school where you choose what you want to study. So I told my mom that's what I wanted to do. So I got into the technical college, and that was what I studied. And I really loved that, and I wanted to further in that. So all the time. So as I was going in school through my technical college, it kind of like still built the passion for electrical engineering. And I saw that I was very good at it. And I didn't want to be any other thing. Like after my secondary school, my technical college, my mom actually wanted me to kind of like switch, maybe because I wasn't getting admission immediately to study, to proceed to college, like to the university. So my mom was like, oh, you can change to maybe study medicine, study pharmacy, because my other sister was a pharmacist. And she was like, oh, almost all my family are in the medical field. My mom was a nurse. So, and she was like, oh, maybe you can study medicine. But I know that I don't like chemistry. I don't like biology. I'm good in physics. I'm good in maths. And I was like, this is not for me. So it took like some years before I could proceed, like maybe 6 years after struggling with JAM and stuff like that, and before I could gain admission to go for my ND at IMT Enugu. So as I went to IMT, I still found that I love engineering. Like I find it very easy. Like I was excelling in it. Like I didn't even feel like, oh, maybe the main. No. it never occurred to me. I was just good at what I was doing. I think it's from there that Dangote picked me and I got into the Dangote Academy. And even with the guys and the industry, I was still like good in what I was doing. And I just love what I was doing. And the passion just kept growing even after the academy when we became the staff. I was still productive and I was still active. I was still achieving like successes. Like in the industry they used to call me a young lady, not because I was able to carry out almost any assignment I was given, it especially about electrical. So that is how my passion grew over the years for electrical engineering and engineering specifically. And never there was never a point in my life where I thought, oh, I'm a woman, I can't do this. No, it never occurred to me.
Wow, that's amazing. When you persisted and you don't want to study medicine and you want to study engineering, was it like a tussle, or she just said, okay, just do whatever you want to do?
Not my mom never choose what we should do for us. She
Mhm.
allowed us like a free range on what you want to do. So, but when I was having challenges in gaining admission to college,
Mhm.
to the university to proceed, that was when my mom came with the option. Maybe that's not what I'm supposed to do. Maybe this is the other part I'm supposed to work. But I know that that wasn't for me. But I couldn't convince my mom that that wasn't for me. So I had to rewrite. I had P7 in my physics, and because of that, I couldn't proceed to the university. So I had to rewrite NECO so that I would be able to correct my physics that I had P7. So it was during the process, and I'm like, God, I don't want to read medicine. I don't want to go into the medical field. I hate hospitals. So that place is not for me. So that was when I now like, oh, let me see. I said, God, I'll do my best for my NICO. And if I am supposed to study engineering, I just need physics. And when the result came out, I had C4 in physics. I had E8 in biology and chemistry. And that was when I know that no, this was not for me. And my mom accepted that, oh, this, you are not meant to go to this path, so this is where you are supposed to go. So that was how I got my mom on board that this was what I wanted to do.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that journey. And there is this that yours is actually similar to a lot of people. Like there's all many people have that, like the gap between the time they finish their secondary school and by the time they get their admission into school. And some people choose different path at that time. They will be like, okay, since I'm not getting admission into engineering, maybe I'll just go and study anything at all. And it's like that gap actually makes a lot of people to now, okay, lose focus. Like they just study anything, and then when they come out from school they don't really know whether they loved what they studied. So I'm glad that you had that smooth, even though you had that gap, you just maintained that love for engineering. And I feel like that's one of the main things that shaped you, and you continued in this in that line. So that is really good to know. When you finished school, going to NYSC, for instance, did you get a job immediately? What was it like for you to get a job and to start working in Dangote? If that's where you worked, correct?
Yeah, I like I said, I joined the Dangote Academy from my ND. Like I went from there to defend my ND project. So I by the time I graduated, I was already in the Dangote Academy. That was 2011. So I continued working with them. But while we were in academy, because we were young students, we had the organization had an agreement that after like 3 years, they would sponsor us to go for our HND, that's higher national diploma. So, but when I joined the company, and that was I became a staff in 2012. So, by 2012, 2013, 2014, I was supposed to go for my HND according to the company agreement we had. But I later found out that, oh, this was in that since I'm now a staff, all the rules applicable to a staff is applicable to me. But I proceeded to start my HND that 2014. And I completed, by the time I entered my second year, my HND, I applied for study leave without pay. And I went to complete my second year. I didn't actually go for NYC. I took exemption because I wanted to start my postgraduate diploma immediately because my goal was always to in a PhD. And so all the other degrees were just a pathway. So I was already working in the industry because I didn't see the point of going for NYC. Like, what experience do I want to have again when I've already been to other parts? Like, I did my secondary school in the south, I did my HND in the east, and I've been to the north. So there was no other part in the country that I really wanted to like visit. So I opted out and I started my PGD. But when I discovered that the distance to my job was so far, I dropped out because my job was in Kogi State and Umuahia was too far for me. So I dropped out. So I didn't do NYC. So and I still continue working with them because I had a vision of going higher. I didn't want to stop with my HND. I always, like I said, wanted a PhD. So that made me not switch from industry to industry. I stayed with my industry because it gave me opportunity to go to school because I've already familiarized myself with the system. So I like the flexibility the job gave me to be able to be going to school. So that was why I didn't switch company or look for other jobs that would take me far from where my schools were located.
Okay, so about the Dangote Academy, did you always know about it? How did you hear about it? Did you hear about it in your school? Did your friend tell you? Did your parents tell you? How did you get to know about the academy?
But I got to this habit of helping people has been something that has always been with me. So while I was doing my ND, I had one of my town guys that was living downstairs, and I was very good in calculus and engineering maths. So I was teaching the guy engineering maths and calculus. So one of those days, the guy meets me and like, oh, Udeme, your GPA is over 3.5, and there's this company that is recruiting people that had a good GPA. You can apply for it. And I was like, oh, I really don't know the company. He sent me the link. I didn't have a good phone. So I used his phone to apply for it. I did not even know that it was Dangote. I did not. As prior to then, have not heard anything really about Dangote. I didn't know about them. So it was him that told me about it and he guided me on the application. And even when I was called for the interview, he was aware. And when I passed the first written test, I and him celebrated. So it was more like, okay, I helped him with his academics and he gave me information that kind of like guided my path.
Oh, okay. That's really good to know because sometimes we don't really know so many of these things that are available to us unless we ask or unless someone tells us. And then you know how Nigeria is sometimes. Sometimes people, it's as if it's only the privileged people that get to know some of this. I've never heard about those people. And I believe there are a lot of people that studied engineering, no matter how smart they are, it's possible that they never heard of those because I know a lot of people that studied engineering and they look for jobs for years and then you had that
Mm,
opportunity, you even had the opportunity to even not to go for NYSC. That's kind of rare, you know. So that's really good to know that something like that exists. And then people
mm,
here that have friends, family that are in engineering and they are close to that, they can explore something like that or something similar. Maybe
mm,
other companies they actually offer that and then see how it has helped you. Okay, so
yeah.
now what, because I believe that whatever we pursue, like throughout school, like when I got to know about IIGL, it was when I think when I was 19 and I was in first year and there was strike. There was this long strike. So I was looking for things to learn. I actually bought books. But like when I want to buy the other books that I really like, I didn't have money for it. So I started searching online and I get free books. And that's how I got to know about IIGL. And then there was this organization that I attended as well. I found them online. And then while I was when they had that program, it's called ISEC. I know a lot of people know about ISEC. So I think Michael, in sometime in his life, joined ISEC. And I clicked on his profile, I read about his own organization. And that's how I
Oh,
got the link to IIGL. And then Felix was asking me, how did you know? So there are so many things out there. That's what I've learned over the years. There are so many things out there. It doesn't, like, I didn't have anybody to tell me. I didn't have, so that is something we really want to discuss. And before we started this, Stephen was telling us about what's going on in his own country. People in that
mm,
particular country will be thinking, I am doomed, there is no opportunity here, I can't learn anything, you know. So that's one thing that I want people to go out with today after this discussion, that you don't have to be privileged to actually change. You can actually seek, and it is like almost a law. If you seek, you will find. It doesn't, maybe you will find after you have, like, you have tried to ask question for a long time before you finally. So this is something I'm picking up from you as well. For some reason, you have persisted in this area, and then you found something that helped you. Okay, so I just wanted to hear your own, what was the mindset, the drive, and everything throughout the journey, because it appeared you had this inner drive to keep studying. Is it that later you make more money, or is it that your status will improve, or that you just want to answer doctor? What was the drive? What did you want to become? Like, not just an engineer, but there must be something that is driving you. You want people to see you as the iron lady, maybe, or like make more money, or like tell people that you can do it. What was it? Because that will help. That, I think that your mindset will be the fundamental to always looking, to always staying up, to always studying, something like that.
I think the mindset was just like, I'm beyond this and I want to help more people. And what can help me to help more people? Because I think I had a realization when I was in my secondary school that I'm going to mentor a lot of people. But as that day, you're in secondary school, you don't even know what life is. So, and I didn't really like have a clear vision of what that entails. But I just had this mindset that I can do things, and I'm someone that analyze my environment, my situation, and everything. So I kind of like knew that if I don't have like a job, I love learning. Like I have always been passionate about learning. So those 6 years I stayed at home after my high school, I've already completed all the books in my mom's library, like all the medical books. I've read everything. So I always had passion for reading. So, and I wanted, like, I wanted to reach the peak of learning. Like, I wanted to get to the peak and know that, oh, I've gotten to the peak of learning. So, and that kept me open for opportunities. Like, how do I get there? Initially, I knew, like, after my ND, that I will not proceed further. And I wanted to gain like a higher degree more than my ND. So that was why I was open to looking for jobs that would fund my degree. So, and when I got into Dangote and I started earning money, I started from the very first day I entered the industry to start saving money for my higher education, because I knew this was not where I want to earn. And I also knew that I don't want to move from industry to industry, because if I go with the certificate I have, I still remain a junior staff. So, and that knowledge keeps me learning. And I have always had passion for reading books. I read a lot of books. And I think in 2018, I started actively studying about leadership when I saw the kind of leaders we had in the industry that we're not really helping. So I didn't want to end up like them. So that was when I started like studying, what does it really mean to lead? What does it mean to be a manager? What does it mean to be a leader? So that got me into actively doing something about leadership. And I got this inspiration that I can start organizing leadership summits and stuff like that. And when I started, and I was like, I don't know how to do this. So I started sending messages out in groups like, if I do this, will you people join? So I started getting people volunteering, and I was on LinkedIn and I shared it and people started joining. Like, so one of my friends was his name was Promise. He had an event that he invited Isaac. So that was in 2020. Okay, there was also lockdown and nothing was, and I'm somebody that is always in school. Like, and by then I was already doing my bachelor's degree. So having this period where you don't have assignments or projects was like a drag for me. So I needed to read. I needed to keep my mind actively focusing on my goals. So that was when I joined. When I joined the event that Isaac was invited, Isaac talked about IIGL. So immediately he said that, I quickly went to go and write it down. So when I wrote that down, I now went to search IIGL. Me, I don't always search things out. Immediately I search things out and find out that this aligns with my goal, I will immediately register for it. That's how my journey with IIGL started. But the mindset I've always kept was that anything I want is achievable. Like IIGL, the Facebook I read, Jonathan Seagull, re-emphasized that belief for me that I can always achieve anything I want to achieve. I just believe that it's just a matter of time. Like time is just the equalizer in everything. If I want to go to school, it's just a matter of time. If I want to become rich, it's a matter of time. Anything that I want to achieve is just a matter of time. And if I work diligently now, that time will come when I will be able to achieve that thing that I want to achieve. The same thing for my academics. I just knew that it was just a matter of time. And I keep myself learning. I keep myself open for opportunities. How did I get to the position where I got to know about the US? Is because I'm always open to information. I don't ignore information. I keep myself open. I keep my mind open because the information you need might just be from one person that will project you to the next level of your life.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of that. And now I want to explore what it was like for you trying to now move abroad. Now you were already studying actively in Nigeria. Why did you now decide to study abroad? And what was it like for you trying to get admission? Did you have any challenges, maybe in terms of finances and the environment you found yourself as a
I
Nigerian?
think there was a book we read in IIGL that talked about the power of confession. I can't really remember the book exactly, but I know there was a book like that. And that book emphasized the power of confession. Now, I've always been someone that always made confession for my next level. Sometimes it doesn't really look like it doesn't look like it's going to happen, but the power of confession is important. And when I was doing for instance, when I was doing my HND in Kaduna, I told them that, oh, I've been to the north. The only place I've not studied is in the west. That my next degree is going to be from the west. This was in 2016. Like everything, like nothing told me like that was going to happen. And 2016, I started my PGD in Umubike, like I told you, and I dropped out. 2018, I started my PGD in Kaduna again. And just like a joke, I dropped out in 2019. And I went to Fuye Federal University of Yekiti to start my bachelor's degree. And just when I was about to drop out in my fourth year, and I realized that, oh, I made a confession one time that my next degree was going to be from the West. So, and that was the realization. So, and I'm like, oh, because of my experiences with Fuye, I told myself that I don't want to study in Nigeria again. Like I'm done with Nigeria academic system because if I gonna study in Nigeria again, we're gonna fight. So I told myself that I'm done. So, but I now told myself that I'm gonna go outside the country to study. But I didn't know how that was going to work. Trust me, I didn't have any idea how that was going to go. So one day, I think either 2019 or early 2021. 2021, either 2020 or early 20. One of my ex-colleague in the Dangote Academy. That's why I just like your journey somehow links you with people that will give you information. They have the information that I need. So if I was not in Dangote Academy, I would not have met Jude. I met Jude through the Dangote Academy, and Jude had left. I didn't even know that he had traveled outside the country. So I think around 2021, they created a Dangote Academy alumni group where Jude was part of. And one of those days, he said we should have a conversation, and we had a conversation. And he now like told me that, oh, do you know that with your HND, you had distinction in your HND, you can get admission to study in the United States? I was like, oh, how does that work? I don't know. This is what I've been looking for. That how does that work? So he now provided me with all the information that I needed, that you would do waste evaluation, you would evaluate your credential, you write SOP, you reach out to advisors, you research systems, you look for schools that have what you want to research in, look for their research areas and things that interest you. So that was how I'm somebody that know how to use Google. I Google a lot. I search for information on the web. So I went online and I started searching for schools, and I saw schools that had my program like electrical engineering, and I look at their requirements and I proceeded with my waste evaluation immediately. So from there, I started applying. That was in 2021 with my master, with my HND. And trust me, almost all the school admitted me because it was for a master's program. So when I now sat down and analyzed my result, I was like, no. And but most of them were without funding. And I was like, Jude, I need funding. I can't afford my schooling in the United States. I cannot afford it. And it was like, you have to keep searching. From there, I started looking for information online. Like I've started searching for where I can get information. That's how I found out about iScholars. That's how I found out about Education USA. I found out about other Michael Taiwo scholarships that can help you process your pre-application season. And I didn't have money to write GRE because they were like, oh, you need GRE, you need TOEFL. I was like, no, the money I'm earning is not like enough to support all these things. So I found that this organization can somehow sponsor that goal. And that was how I got into getting information. I won the iScholar scholarship. I joined Education USA. And, the whole essence is that when you are desperately in need of something, and the universe will align you in position or keep you in contact with people that will re-emphasize that dream. I joined some groups that I found out that it's possible to get fully funded scholarship in the US. And I found out that you can go from your bachelor's degree to your PhD direct without a master's degree. And that was why I focused all my application mostly in the United States. And I was looking for scholarship because I knew that I don't have the capability to sponsor my education anywhere outside Nigeria.
Wow, 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 amazing. And just to summarize what I picked from all of this, because I feel like a lot of people will find it very resourceful. So you mentioned that some of the resources or some of the organizations that helped you, apart from joining organizations that will actually improve your mindset, like IIGL and your own organization and reading books. So for your PhD journey, you joined iScholar, you joined Education USA, you joined Michael something.
No, I didn't join Michael Taiwo. I never won
Okay,
the
but you
scholarship,
learned
but I
about
learned
that one
about
as
them.
well.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
one of these organizations that you mentioned is Education USA, that I've also seen a lot of people benefited from. So that Education USA, you joined at the point where you were applying for your PhD to study abroad. But I also learned recently, because I was asking someone very close to me as well that used Education USA, got full ride scholarship to do 4 years bachelor's degree in the United States, and also got full ride again to study master's degree. So, and it was Education USA that helped. So when I asked, in the beginning, I thought he started when he wanted to study bachelor's in the United States, but it was actually from his secondary school. And for some reason, I don't know how he heard about it, and then he followed them up, and they mentored him from the time how to write the SAT. They mentored him from that time, like ending of secondary school.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that when they want to study abroad or move abroad, they get scammed, information is different or something, they don't get the right information. But one thing for everyone that have gone to their center in Abuja or Lagos, they always go with something. It could be the names of schools that are applying. Sometimes they have like fairs where so many universities in America, they are looking for international students, and they will present when they are recruiting the requirements that they need, what you need to pass, and all of that. So that mentorship is very, very important. So I feel like that time, maybe you gain something from them as well. So if you don't know about Education USA, it's a very resourceful organization in Nigeria. A lot of people don't know about them, but you will get at least the right information, which is what a lot of people miss. Sometimes you just get fed up because people say a lot of things online, you get discouraged and all of that. But if you get the right people, the right resources, the right organization, it can make a whole lot of difference. And that is really for the USA. So if you don't know about this organization and you join this program today, you see it's one of the main, is one of the ways to find information, connecting with people that align with your own vision. And you'll be able, sometimes maybe their networks, maybe there are when I talk to IIGL students, sometimes I tell them it's not only the books you get from here, the network, the energy. Like something that inspired me a lot in IIGL is seeing Felix traveling to do one course like that. And I always apply for these courses, I never get them. And then I see, a lot of IIGL students